Laura A. Grace here, the author of Dear Author, Letters from a Bookish Fangirl, Team Lines of Poetry Collection, and Finding God Anime Devotional for Otakus, which is free on a variety of platforms. I'll leave a link down below in case if you would like to check it out. Happy Wednesday, my friends! I'm so excited that you're here, so excited to be talking about manga and some of my favorite, recommendations or top 5 recommendations, because yes, it is Top 5 Wednesday. But if you're not familiar with Top 5 Wednesday was formed by Lainey back in 2013. The group is now since on Goodreads, and I'll also leave a link down below if you'd like to check it out. Our current host, Alex, she creates a series of prompts for Wednesdays, and on that Wednesday, we answer the prompt with 5 manga, or 5 books, but in this case manga, to fit that said prompt. Today's prompt is pretty exciting because it's outside of your comfort zone. So basically, these are manga that are usually what I typically would not pick up. Definitely I don't know about this, but I'm going to give it a chance kind of thing. And I actually have a few on my shelf that I have picked up recently that were definitely felt a little bit outside my comfort zone, but the ones I have read, I'm actually really glad that I did sort of jump out my comfort zone to go pick them up because they have very much been worth it. And in no certain order, we will kick off with the first one that I got, probably one of my most first recent out of my comfort zone ones, and that was Love of Kill. I had seen a lot of mixed reviews on volume 1, and I was like, well, I'm going to try it because it's about spies and sort of like assassins. And I strangely really like those. One of my favorite villains, he is a assassin, and I absolutely love him as a villain. Granted, these are not villains, but still. This was really good. I haven't actually read volume 2 just yet, and I keep meaning to pre-order volume 3. I heard we're getting an anime, which is really, really exciting. But I loved it. It's sort of like a Mr. and Miss Smith, but a little bit, I feel like, more deadly and a lot less romance, or at least so far. I like their romance. It's really a slow burn, I think, but I like them. I think they would make a good couple together. Very interesting. They work together in a way. So I don't know. I liked the whole package that Love of Kill gave, and I really do need to read volume 2 because the back is very, very beautiful. Just definitely one of my favorite, back covers, I guess you'd say. I mean, the front of this one's pretty cool too, but But definitely this one takes the win on that. For number 2, this is a title I'm actually going to be reviewing for Beneath the Tangles. I'm going to be probably starting it later this week or early next week, and that is Prince Freya. I remember the hype train for Prince Freya and how they were everybody is dying. I was like, I really don't know about this. And so I'm choosing out this one for this week because I'm not very fond of characters dying, ever, period. Villains, maybe, depending on how much I dislike the villain. I admit sometimes that villain needs to go, and I'm okay if they just get wiped off the page. But I definitely heard in Prince Freya, she kills off her darlings, don't get attached to anybody because they'll probably die or get injured. So I'm excitedly nervous for Prince Freya. I'm really curious just to know, what is the hype for this series. I did love her other series, The Heiress and the Chauffeur, which I am going to be reviewing at some point on this channel. I am determined to gush about that series. I've read it twice. Absolutely love it so much. So I'm curious to see just sort of how these are different and sort of the same. It will be very, very interesting. But let's hope that I'm not completely wrecked. Not everybody dies in Prince Freya. I guess I'll be finding out here very soon, won't I? For number 3, I am choosing I Was Reincarnated as the Villainess in a Otome game, but the Boys Love Me Anyway. That's a really long title, okay? I had to make sure that, I would not butcher that or mess that up. So this is pretty exciting. So I'm not a huge fan of, the reincarnated trope, I guess you would call it. It's not one of my favorites, but a friend of mine recommended this to me, and even though it is a harem, which I'm also not very fond of, they said it was really, really, really sweet. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to try it out, and I keep meaning to, and this was another one that was I'm going to read this next month and do a review, because I don't actually know when volume 2 is coming out, or if there's a volume 2. I'm assuming so, because there's a volume 1 right here. And could they not make this spine a little bit prettier? I mean, I would have never guessed from, this not-so-pretty spine that the cover was so gorgeous. Anyway, that's a little bit of a side tangent there, but I am really curious about this. I have not read reincarnated trope. I do have a few. I have The Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter And I think I have one other one, maybe. But this was definitely the first one I purchased, and I don't have any of the Otome games. So this was also a first in that. So I felt like this whole manga was like definitely outside of my comfort zone. And even there's times I'm like, wonder if I don't enjoy it. And I think that's probably why I haven't picked it up a little bit sooner, though I did mean to read it at Mother's Day when I bought it. But anyway, that's beside the point. But I'm really excited to try this, and I will laugh if I get hooked and like suddenly these genres are not outside of my comfort zone anymore. And last but not least, for number 5, Demon Slayer. I never would have imagined ever that I would be absolutely hooked on this manga. Like, period. Like, no. I will not even deny, as embarrassing and ignorant as it is of me to say, I stayed away from this series simply because of the title. And my friend and I actually did a lot of research, like, on the title and just the series alone. And through our research that we did, and it was for something completely unrelated, but through that research that we did, I was like, this is a lot different than I thought it would be. And so I was like, you know what? I need to form my own opinion, and I'm just going to go watch the first episode of the anime. And I was hooked. Now, Demon Slayer, just outside of the title, is out of my comfort zone, I feel, because it is a darker story, and usually I don't like reading things that have like paranormal, supernatural elements, like just because I'm a huge chicken. I mean, I can read them sometimes, but I don't want anything that makes me paranoid, like when it's night and I need all the lights on. I don't like that feeling at all. I really don't. But this has been excellent. I've read most of Volume 1, I skimmed it, and I will be reading this with my friend Megan at the Bookish Raven, I believe is her Instagram handle. I'm super duper excited. I need to know. I watched the movie twice and I was like, I need to know what happens next. And I'm hoping not everybody dies because, again, outside my comfort zone, as I said with Prince Freya, so hopefully not everybody in Demon Slayer dies. But yeah, this was an unexpected, I guess, gem for me because I really didn't expect to love it as much as I did. And those are my 5 titles that I am sharing for outside of my comfort zone. But what about you, friends? What are some manga that you picked up that were outside of your comfort zone, but you're like, man, this is amazing, and you absolutely loved it? I would totally love to hear from you, friends. And definitely let me know if you've read any of these titles as well. I would love to hear your thoughts on them. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching. Bye!